rather than simply saying you're arriving at the field angry, try to explain why you're angry. And then once you actually get that out of your system, then you can actually play with a smile on your face.
All right, guys, welcome back to a new episode of the Warm-Up Show. And today we are with Kevin Orozco. How are you, Kevin?
I'm good. How about yourself, Cyril?
Very good. Thank you very much. I will let you introduce yourself in a minute. But first, I just want to say a word to my community, guys, on the Warm-Up Show. Thank you so much. We're growing slowly but surely. And I'm really grateful for everybody who's been engaging with me. We get more and more comments, likes, and DMs. So keep it up, guys. Keep sending all that. I really appreciate it. Kevin, today you're going to talk about your organization as well, called Soccer Therapy. I'm going to let you introduce yourself now and talk about it. You'll do it better than me. So go on.
Thank you so much, Cyril, and thank you again so much for having us on. As you mentioned, my name is Kevin Orozco. I'm the founder and CEO of Soccertherapynyc. We're really a nonprofit organization that's focused on breaking the stigma of mental health awareness and raising awareness of mental health, specifically in minority communities. And really the whole premise of our organization started off as me thinking, what is a form of therapy for me, right? What is a form of making me feel like I am more than just my 9-to-5 job? What am I more than just, a friend or anything? And a form of therapy for me has always been the sport of soccer or football. And for me, ever since I was the age of 16, it's really always been a form of therapy, a form of escaping, whatever demons or whatever it is that we're going through with time. And that feeling has evolved, especially a lot more over the last 18 months, where when I decided to start this organization in mid to late 2020, I thought, mental health is really something that is incredibly important to me, and it's something that needs to be addressed. Unfortunately, it's incredibly expensive. It's incredibly expensive to seek therapy. Sometimes these therapy sessions can cost anywhere between $80 and $200. So our organization and our mission is to really educate and communicate to our communities that it's okay to feel whatever it is that we're feeling and to address them. But more importantly is also figuring out a way in which we can actually subsidize those costs, so we can sponsor individuals who can't afford mental health therapy, and we connect them with certain therapists that we have within our network that are both based in Los Angeles as well as here, the New York City and New Jersey tri-state area.
Excellent, very good. Yeah, the first thing you say when you talk about escapism, I think it resonates so much with me, and I'm pretty sure with everybody, because like you say, we all have a lot of stuff going on in our lives, but that moment we step on the field in the weekend or at night after our 9-to-5, somehow everything, we just forget about it, and we're just having fun playing. And this is what sports, here we're talking about football, but I think sports in general is good for your mind, for your body as well.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, I could tell you even from like the earliest memories of when I was a teenager in college. I didn't play college sports. I played soccer or football in high school. But I remember just sometimes just going out to, there's this park on the Hudson River in New York City, or not in New York City, but on the New Jersey side. And just playing there from like 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. until the lights came on, and you saw kind of like the city lights turn on and everything. And that, to me, it's a vivid, still a very clear and vivid picture of what it is to really feel that euphoria of playing the sport you love with your friends, or just playing around on the field doing tricks or whatever it might be. And this is kind of, and weirdly, this was also kind of like the era right before social media took off. So we didn't have the distractions of our phone to want to record things and stuff like that. So it was really, you were forced to be in the moment. So that I think that's really something I definitely won't ever take for granted again.
It sounds very simple, but the feeling that you get from this is actually unmatched. It's very hard to find it. I just made a video, actually, I'm going to post it today, about the feeling of belonging to a team. That can help also as well. And this is kind of where I make the liaison with what I do.
Mm.
where I use the mental aspect of the game
Mm-hmm.
to help players perform.
Of course.
But there's so much more to it. And you're talking about the health, the mental health. And I think it's, there's a saying that says, you've got health, you've got happiness. And, and this is exactly where you should be finding the balance between, okay, yes, I want to play to be good, but don't forget that you're playing to have fun, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's definitely something that, young adults, teenagers sometimes forget, right? The focus of playing often becomes just about getting better, being better, and everything else. And that's good. That's great. But I think there's also definitely a mental and emotional aspect to it. At least in my experiences playing every day ever since I was 13 all the way up till I was 18, because I was playing in high school and whatnot. There was always an element to that where, whether you're playing pickup or you're playing with competitively, people start to people get very angry very, very quickly, and that was something I was always very much in tune with, like that connection between my mind and my body, and like how I'm reacting to certain situations while I'm playing the game. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. Obviously, I've had my moments where, of course, we get angry, our competitive nature kicks in and everything. But sometimes there's a fine line, and there's a difference between, going after someone's ankles compared to, just enjoying and playing the game, right? So for me, it's always a core part of our organization as well is to teach that mental aspect, to teach that part in which we don't typically tap into, so that we could try playing more with a smile on our face versus trying to express or almost just let out our anger or whatever it is that we're feeling against our opponent. When at the end of the day, you end up either exchanging shirts, you end up exchanging numbers with the person, or whatever the case might be. There's always a way in which we can actually enjoy playing the game, so that it doesn't always turn into basically a negative way to express your feelings.
Exactly. What have you been doing with soccer therapy, and what do you plan on doing in the next couple of weeks, couple of months, couple of years? What is the goal? So let's say if a player or anybody doesn't have to play football but love football, you say, you know what, I think I would need to go to therapy for something, and can they come to you, and what's the process of this?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I appreciate you asking that, because we're right now, Soccer Therapy NYC is in a growth phase. So we started in August-ish or late July of 2020. And over the last few months, what we've been really focusing on are a couple of things. Number one, getting our website up and running. So we can anybody could visit soccertherapynyc.org. But equally as important is building up our social presence, because we believe that it's important, and that's probably one of the easiest ways, and also one of the most efficient ways to just reach a diverse crowd of individuals who either love the sport or are also very much into their own mental health and how they've been doing. Because weirdly enough, because of the pandemic and all, there's been actually a massive spike in individuals seeking therapy. And the reason why we know this is because in our conversations of building out our therapist network, we've all basically been talking about the same thing: is there's an influx of individuals who need or seeking mental health, and how do we address that? And a lot of the times, the reason why people are not able to is, as I mentioned earlier, is that they can't necessarily afford it.
Yeah.
So what we've been doing over the last couple of months is, in our conversations with these therapists and identifying which therapists would basically are open to our partnership, and also willing and able to take on individuals who are seeking therapy, is to figure out how is it that we can create that bridge that exists between the person who is seeking therapy and the person who can offer therapy. And the primary way in which we can do it is actual sponsorship. So what we want to do over, especially in 2021, is diversifying the ways we can generate additional donations, generate sales, because on our website right now, we have some face masks that we're selling, as well as we have a partnership with Adidas for our jerseys. So like they're actually, they're really, really nice in my opinion.
I saw them. They're really, really nice jerseys.
Yeah. So, and they're navy blue. They have the Soccer Therapy NYC logo. And one thing about the logo was that, in case nobody has seen it, it's basically like a yellow swirl that's like shaped like a soccer ball.
Mm-hmm.
And in the middle are two red lines. But really those two red lines are like the pause symbol, which for me personally has always been something that has helped me to kind of ground myself, where you kind of just have to hit pause for a moment. Sometimes we get so excited and we get so into our days or into our weeks, and we start thinking so far ahead that creates anxiety. But take a pause. We sometimes just have to take a moment, take a deep breath, and think, okay, what's our next move? Think about it the same way when we're on the soccer field. When we're playing and we start to get all excited, but then the coach starts yelling, calm down, everybody, and start thinking about what you're going to do next, as opposed to just launching the ball forward, correct? And that made me also think about your most recent episode with Raul, when he's talking about how the ball from the back line comes out in Europe. Yeah. You don't ever launch the ball. You're playing the ball forward. You have to stop and think, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that's something that's a philosophy that you teach in your experiences as well, where sometimes launching the ball is the panic button, but also our reaction to how we, just conduct ourselves in life is also like hitting the panic button. So in all of that, there's multiple ways in which we can generate these donations and generate the funding to really get our mission forward. But right now we have actually 3 clients that are already looking for sponsorship through 2 individuals in Los Angeles. So it's incredibly exciting, but at the same time, it's also kind of nerve-wracking, right? Because it's like, okay, wow, this is real. This is really turning into, it's really happening now. So now we basically just have to go into like overdrive about what types of different marketing we can do, right? So for example, we're in touch with Soccer Roof in New York City to see how we can, set up some flyers there. But I think also something very important is figuring out how we can also host events as the weather starts to finally get a little bit warmer. And I think the pandemic, I don't want to say it dies down, but we start to have a much better understanding of how to manage it. So
when you're talking about those kind of events, would it be, so obviously soccer related, so would it be just a party and just having fun and playing football with everybody, and that's when you can meet people as well, or discuss with therapists there on site?
Yeah, so that we ideally would definitely want to have a therapist or 2, or if even like a sports psychologist of some sort on site. And the reason why we want to do that is that, like, at least the way we envision it is, we go to a facility, say a Soccer Roof or something of that nature. We can host people to come in and play soccer and just, for a couple of hours, just have fun. But I think in between, or even in the beginning, is breaking out into just little groups to kind of get ourselves into a Zen space, to get ourselves into a safe space. And I think that's really part of our mission as well, which is to break the stigma of mental health. I think sometimes, especially men, tend to not want to talk about their feelings. They see it, we see it as a form of weakness. We see it as a form of vulnerability. And while there's validity to that, there's reason to that. I think more importantly, what we want to achieve is that in speaking with our friends or our loved ones, we can actually learn to communicate ourselves in a much more effective way. So you're arriving at the field angry, try to explain why you're angry. And then once you actually get that out of your system, then you can actually play with a smile on your face.
Many reasons can affect your game. And we always often say that it's very difficult to play good if you don't feel good. On a personal level, for me, we've briefly talked about it before, but when I was 16 years old, I used to play in an academy in France, and like a lot of players in France and in Europe, with the dream of becoming a football player. And I signed a pre-professional contract at the age of 16 until 18 years old. And the normal pathway after this is you signing a professional contract at 18 years old. So there's already some type of pressure. And you can imagine if in an academy of 25 players of 16 years old, they give a contract to 3 players, you can imagine what happens in the locker room. And on a day-to-day basis, we live together in the academy 24/7, 7 days of the week. And that was actually the worst 2 years of my life on the field. Okay. On the moment, I didn't know why. And now looking back at it, I know that I was just not ready to cope with this, even if it was not that much pressure but I took it personal, and I took it as, there's so much at stake. Nobody in my family's been there. I didn't have anybody to talk to. And that's where I'm thinking, what if there was a therapist on campus? What if there was somebody that I could go and explain something? Or because as coaches, we kind of have this role as well of listening to the players, which is very, very important. But you don't always have the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned something earlier about how, in your experiences, what if there was a sports therapist? What if there was a therapist or anything at any academy? And I think the death of Weston, of Man City, was really something that really raised a lot of eyebrows, not only of coaches, parents, but also young adults who also imagined themselves at some point in their lives going to the academy, going to a academy, because we obviously have so many European teams that now want to start setting up here in the U.S. because there's a lot of U.S. talent, and that's something that is being exemplified, especially over the last couple of months, right? With Pulisic, McKinney, and Reina, and all these other players who are playing in Europe. So that's really inspiring a lot of American kids, and not of so many diverse backgrounds. Of like, how do I get into the academy now? Because like, if I see them playing in Europe, then that means I can play in Europe, and the European teams are seeing that, so they're setting up here. But most recently, there's a big focus, I think, now with the appointment of the new MLS club, DC United. Not the new MLS club. Sorry, the new president of the MLS club, DC United. And one of her greatest emphasis will be setting up mental health treatment for players, as well as the players in the academy, because this is very real. When dreams are crushed, for whatever reason, people don't know what to do. And that's why it's so important to, again, break the stigma of just wanting and being able to communicate whatever it is that you're feeling, whatever desperations it is that you're going through, and to really educate, communicate effectively.
I didn't know about this from DC United. That's a big step forward. I think if that happens.
Yeah, it is a big step forward, and it's something that hopefully all of the other MLS clubs here in the US can start to adopt, because I personally, I don't know what it is to be in an academy for a US-based team or a European-based team. I can only speak from experience in playing like varsity and junior varsity sports, that here in the US, it is incredibly competitive.
I'm not saying I would have been playing in a French national team if I would have a therapist on campus, but I also believe that a lot of talented players missed the chance because they didn't have this option as well.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do with the warm show. I mean, with my company, CC Management, helping talented players make sure that they do everything right on the mental side.
Working out the mind is just as important as squats, as going into the gym and working out consistently, because that's why kind of like therapy once a month doesn't necessarily work. Once a week works. Once a week where you're addressing the issues and everything. And that's definitely something that has cost implications, of course. But then that's where we come in, right? That's where we believe our mission can really make a difference in aiding those who actually can't afford seeing a therapist once a week. But instead, we can cover up to 100% of the costs, or even 50% of the costs, and that goes an incredibly long way for anybody who really believes that they're going through something. Exactly. And for them to finally just be brave enough to say, like, I do need help.
What can we do for soccer therapy today? So obviously, I'm going to link the website, the Instagram. I will upload some more information about your company, your organization. Sorry. One last word, or what can you tell? What do you want us to do? A little bit of an action call here for you.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. So, I mean, you can first, the lowest lift thing would be to follow us on Instagram. So it's Soccertherapynyc. You can also visit our website at soccertherapynyc.org. There you can learn more about our mission. You can learn more about how your donations can really impact someone else's life. And of course, if you wanted to, of course, you could also shop from our products. We have some branded workout masks. We have some 2-layer essential masks. We have our jerseys that are also for sale. But on top of that, I do have a lot of retro jerseys that I'm selling that I just don't wear. But they're all in excellent condition, like new. So those jerseys are also available there. And of course, 100% of those proceeds of anything we sell goes towards actually funding our mission, which is to sponsor individuals who cannot afford mental health. And you can learn more about our therapist network as well, which we have 2 based in LA, and we have another 2 who are also based here in the New York City, New Jersey area. So yeah, I mean, that's really the main 2 ways in which you can support us.
And I really hope that the Warm Up Show community will support. Guys, make sure you go follow Soccer Therapy on Instagram. Make sure you go check out their website. And if you can donate as well, that would really be amazing. You know, your funds are going to a very special place, and you can help someone in need. And if you are in need as well, if you feel like you should see a therapist and you want to talk a little bit more about it, make sure to contact Kevin as well. I'll get your email. I'll put it down in the description, so it's very easy for you to get in contact. Kevin, thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely.
It was a pleasure talking with you. And I really hope Soccer Therapy is going to be very big in the next couple of months, couple of years, and that you can help as many players as you can.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Cyril. And yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity and for this conversation. It was great.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Talk soon.